Okay, let's dive in. We're unpacking that recent Nations League final, Portugal versus Spain. We've seen quite a bit written about it, focusing on key players, the teams, and some really interesting narratives around the match. So our aim here is to pull out the most compelling bits for you, help you get up to speed on the main takeaways, especially around certain players and performances that really stood out.
Yeah, and what's fascinating, I think, isn't just the scoreline, but how everything that happened on the pitch kind of interacted with the stories people were telling before the game. Sometimes it confirmed them, sometimes it completely blew them up.
Exactly. Stories about generations clashing, individual brilliance lasting.
Yeah,
It had layers.
it really did.
So let's start with the result itself. Portugal took home the trophy, beating Spain in a pretty tense penalty shootout in the end.
That's their second Nations League title now, which is becoming quite a significant piece of silverware in international football.
Absolutely. But leading up to it, the big story, the one everyone seemed to be talking about, was this sort of generational face-off.
Right. You had Lamine Yamal, the 17-year-old sensation for Spain, seen as this, dazzling future star.
And on the other side, Cristiano Ronaldo, 40 years old, the legend, representing, I suppose, that enduring, almost timeless quality.
And there was definitely a feeling, you picked it up in some of the commentary beforehand, that maybe this was Yamal's moment,
Yeah.
Time for the young gun to outshine the veteran.
But as you hinted, what actually unfolded on the pitch, well, it painted a rather different picture, especially when we look at Ronaldo himself.
Yeah, let's talk about him. Because performing at that level, at 40, it's not just hard, it's almost unheard of in the modern game, isn't it?
It really is. And it shines a light on his continued success individually. We see notes about him still winning golden boots, even over in Saudi Arabia, which, okay, some people might downplay, but it still shows that scoring instinct is sharp.
And crucially, he's still doing it against the top European teams. He scored against Germany recently, he scored against Spain here. This isn't someone just going through the motions.
Not at all. And his contribution in this Nations League run was absolutely vital. He scored in the quarterfinal.
Got the winner against Germany in the semi.
And then the big one in the final against Spain, that crucial equalizer. The second time Portugal were behind, he pulls them back level.
And that goal itself, the descriptions really emphasize it wasn't just any goal. It was a fantastic volley finish.
Yeah, pure instinct, wasn't it? Reading the cross, being in the right place.
Exactly. In a crowded box, too. Just a moment of, brilliance born from experience, arriving right when they desperately needed something.
And if you look at his record in finals across his whole career, something like 24 goals, 2 assists, and 39 finals, that's delivering under pressure.
It shows that clutch mentality. And for Portugal, think about it. Before Ronaldo, they'd never even played in a major final.
That's incredible when you put it like that.
But since he arrived, they won the Euros and now 2 Nations Leagues, 3 major trophies. And while he'd assisted in finals before, that equalizer was actually his first goal in a major final for Portugal. Still making history.
Wow. Still breaking new ground.
And there's this point made about his reaction afterwards, the emotion, the crying. Some might judge that, but the perspective offered is, look, that just shows the hunger's still there. The winning mentality is as fierce as ever, even at 40.
That drive hasn't faded.
Not one bit. And there was even talk he might have been playing through some pain, an injury in the final.
Really?
Yeah, described almost like he was ready to sacrifice his leg for the team. That level of commitment, it tells you why he's still out there. He believes he can make the difference.
And that belief, that hope he gives fans and teammates, it's not magic. It's earned, right? Built over years and years of delivering in these huge moments.
Precisely. It's cultivated through performance.
So Ronaldo steps up yet again. But that pre-match generational clash narrative, it got completely turned on its head in one specific duel on the pitch, thanks to another Portuguese player.
Ah, yes.
Nuno Mendes.
Let's talk about him, because he was singled out, wasn't he? Man of the match, the difference maker. Undeniably. And the core reason. His ability to just completely shut down top-class wingers. We saw mentions of players he's handled this season. Salah, Saka, Dumfries, elite players.
And in this final, the focus was obviously on Lamine Yamal.
Right. And Mendes basically, he pocketed him. completely nullified him. That whole narrative of Yamal maybe dominating, Mendes just shut it down.
It wasn't even a contest by some accounts. Mendes looked comfortable, even dribbled past Yamal easily himself at times.
Exactly. It was a statement performance defensively.
But it wasn't just defense, was it? The analysis highlights his attacking threat, too.
Oh, definitely. Great runs forward, key assists, like the one for Ronaldo's winner in the semi against Germany.
And for the equalizer in this final, the description was he was cooking Yamal down the wing before putting that cross in for Ronaldo.
Yeah, cooking is a good word for it. He showed great decision-making, made key blocks, too. It was a complete performance.
So much so that some are saying, based on this and his season, he's the best left back in the world right now.
It's a bold claim. But when you look at how he performed in that final, against that level of opposition, both defending and attacking, you can see why people are saying it's a strong argument.
Okay, so given Mendes had such a dominant game against him, let's shift focus back to Lamine Yamal. The analysis still recognizes him, obviously, as a huge talent.
Oh, absolutely. Incredible potential.
Oh, wow.
Phenomenal player already, really.
And there was that nice detail about Ronaldo himself praising Yamal after the match. That recognition from a legend, even after Yamal had a tough game, says a lot.
It does. And that's how this experience for Yamal is being framed, not as a failure, but more like a valuable setback, a learning moment very early in his career.
Which makes sense. So what can a young player like him take from a game like that, especially seeing Ronaldo up close, handling the pressure, delivering again?
Well, the suggestions are lessons in, resilience.
Yeah.
Grit, that refusal to give up, maintaining hunger, understanding what it takes to perform when it really matters, over and over again.
There was that interesting analogy comparing Ronaldo to a multi-cuisine cook, right? Because he's succeeded in so many different leagues. England, Spain, Italy, now Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the idea being he can adapt and perform in different styles of football. And the takeaway for Yamal could be, okay, I need to learn different cooking styles myself, add different elements to my game based on challenges like facing Mendes.
It's a good way to put it. His career is just starting, obviously, a long road ahead. But facing these tough tests early, especially if he learns from them, could actually be hugely beneficial down the line.
Exactly. Character building stuff, potentially.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit from the individuals and look at the team performance, the tactics. Because the game had a very distinct shape, didn't it?
It really did. That first half, Spain were clearly on top. They controlled the possession, pressed really well, created a lot of chances.
Yeah, players like Nico Williams seemed to have acres of space out wide at times. Portugal looked pragmatic, maybe, but definitely second best.
They lacked control, for sure. And tactically, that decision to play João Neves, who's usually a midfielder at right back, that seemed to cause problems. Spain exploited that side.
But then second half, things changed quite dramatically.
Big credit has to go to the coach, Bobby Martinez here. The analysis points to his substitutions, bringing on Semedo at right back, Ruben Neves into midfield. Those changes really shifted the balance.
You could see Portugal getting much more of a foothold in the game.
Yeah, Martinez read the game well, identified the problems, and made effective changes. That allowed Portugal's quality to show through more.
And we should definitely mention Diogo Costa in goal for Portugal. He had a fair bit to do, especially in that first half when Spain were pressing.
He was solid, made some important saves, and then, of course, the huge penalty save against Morata in the shootout. That was the match-winning moment ultimately.
Decisive.
And it highlights Portugal's squad depth too, doesn't it? Being able to bring players like Leon off the bench to make an impact is a massive advantage.
Whereas Spain, for all their good play, especially early on, they just couldn't finish their chances. Maybe faded a bit physically too.
Seemed that way. They lost some intensity in the second half, let Portugal back in. Great pressing, good build-up for large parts, but lacked that final product on the day.
And just briefly, on the Nations League itself, it was set up to make these international breaks more meaningful than just friendlies.
Yeah, and while some still debate exactly how prestigious it is winning it, especially having to beat teams like Germany, France, and Spain in the knockouts like Portugal did,
right,
that's a serious achievement. It shows quality and resilience.
It definitely generated excitement.
It did. Now, tying some of this together, there was also a broader reflection in the analysis about greatness and how we discuss these icons.
Yeah, particularly around the comparisons, often the negativity between players like Ronaldo and Messi over the years.
There's a strong message coming through. Maybe it's time to stop the hate, stop the constant who's better arguments, and just appreciate them. Appreciate these incredible talents while they're still playing at this level.
Because, as one source put it, people like this are rare.
Exactly. We're lucky to witness careers like these. The focus should maybe shift to enjoying their unique qualities, understanding what makes them so special for so long, rather than always pitting them against each other.
It's a call for appreciation, really. Their longevity, their ability to keep performing under immense pressure. It's remarkable.
It gives you a window into what elite performance really means, sustained over decades.
So wrapping this up, what have we seen here? We saw how tactics can shift the entire momentum of a final, how a young superstar like Yamal faced a really tough but potentially valuable test.
We saw a player like Nuno Mendes put in an absolutely dominant man-of-the-match display, completely flipping that pre-game narrative about his flank.
And we saw a 40-year-old legend in Cristiano Ronaldo, yet again, defying age, scoring vital goals, leading his team, and providing that intangible sense of hope.
Yeah, and it underscores that this kind of brilliance, especially the clutch moments, isn't just random, it's built. Built over years of work, resilience, learning, and developing that unshakable self-belief under pressure.
Okay, so here's something to think about, moving beyond just this match. In any field, really, whether it's sports or business or the arts, when you see someone right at the very top, still performing at an elite level late into their career, what qualities, beyond just the raw talent they started with, do you think are the absolute key ingredients for that incredible longevity and that continued ability to deliver when it matters most? What allows them to keep finding that extra gear in those defining moments?